All right, good afternoon. We're going to talk a little bit about week 13 and some other things going on. So one thing I didn't touch on last week when I talked about the evaluation assignment was the rubric for it. So the rubric is posted in the content area of D2L, and how I'm going to grade this assignment is if you are mostly in the mastery column, I'm just going to give you 30 points. I'm not taking any points off or anything like that. Same thing with the developing column. If you fall in that, 26 points, they're yours. Where I might do some taking off of points based on how well you do in each category is if I feel like you're mostly in the emerging column. So I wanted to give you this isn't one where I'm like, okay, and if you don't do this, then there's half the points are gone. It's going to be like, I'm going to look at it, what you turn in, look at the rubric and see where I think you fall on um, what category you fall in, and that will determine your score. So now I want to talk a little bit about the final project. So the final project is due May 2nd, and so in this case you are finding 10 resources that you're going to write a critical annotation for. And so here are the components of a critical annotation. So you're going to give some statement about the author's credibility. Now keep in mind that sometimes the author is an association or it's not necessarily a person. A summary of the issue and the conclusion presented in the resource. So this is sort of stuff you've been doing along the way, except now you're finding the resource. You're going to comment about the evidence that they provide. You're going to describe any flaws or weaknesses in the argument, because that could be like a fallacy, it could be missing evidence. You're going to talk about how that resource compares to the other resources in your bibliography. And then you also will provide a bibliographic citation and APA format. So I'm giving you this tip, and I want to make sure this is very clear to you, that in D2L, in the content area, there is a concise critical notes worksheet. This is for your use only. You're not going to submit it. You don't have to use it. It's up to you. I suggest that you do, because it's a way for you to gather all the information that you'll need to write your annotation, but you are not submitting a worksheet for any of your resources. Okay? I do want to give you a heads up that the rubric I'll post pretty soon. It'll be scored the same way as the evaluation assignment. And then I'm also going to do a template, because I thought, oh, I totally forgot about that, to make sure that you have the right, not really a template document, but at least sort of the right formatting to start out with on APA style. So this will make more sense when you see it. And then you can just type in your annotations. Okay, so just to recap on the assignments, one is the evaluation assignment due 18th of April, and then the fifth sort of take-home assignment is due the 25th of April, and you're probably like, Robin, why do we have something due that week too? But I'm actually helping you complete your final project. So assignment 5, which will be in the content area, the first part is just what we've been doing all along. I give you a short passage. You tell me some things about the issue, the conclusion, and in this case, what evidence is there, and then is there significant information in it. But the final part of it is I want you to do 2 of the critical annotations that you're going to do on your final project for the assignment 5. That way you'll have 2 out of the 10 done. You'll only have 8 more to do. I am committing right now, if it's due on the 25th of April, I will have comments back to you by Wednesday, so you know whether or not those annotations are good or bad. Doesn't matter as far as scoring for assignment 5. If you do them, you're going to get the full points for them in the assignment number 5. I want you to have at least, this is my way of guaranteeing that you have started the final project before the weekend. Okay? This way it's going to force you to have something done early on. I will provide feedback. You'd still have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to finish out the assignment, okay? And the final project is due May 2nd. And then I will turn around and have your grades done that week. Okay, so this week, I think it's kind of a fun chapter. This one is about what significant information is omitted. So this is kind of fun where you can sort of sit down and sort of like, oh, kind of make a brainstorm list of like, what would I expect to find in this article? And then you look at the article and you're like, I'm not seeing any of this. I think it's fun to do this with news stories on like the news, Care 11, Fox 9, whatever channel you watch at night. And then sometimes they'll finish the story, they'll go to the reporter on scene, and then they'll finish the story. And then I turn to my wife and I'm like, and I'll ask her a question like, "Well, what about this piece of information?" So I think this is a good chapter. I think you'll like it. And anyway, we're approaching the end. So have a good afternoon.